Hi, for RC321 Solar Thermal course here, occasionally you're going to have to maybe do some calculations in a tabular form, and Excel is really good to assist you and just make your life easier in doing repetitive calculations in tables. Some of you may have never used Excel before, so this is a little 5 to 10 minute video just to give you the intro and the basics you need to get going in Excel, and then you can learn more details from there. So Excel, again, it's a chart format where the columns are labeled with A, B, C, D, E, F letters, and the rows are labeled by numbers, one to whatever number you want. And whenever you click on a cell, that reference number, in this case D6, will be displayed up here in the name box, and it'll be kind of highlighted. And these references matter because when you do calculations in an Excel, in a spreadsheet like this, basically that reference number is what you're using to define your calculations. So good practice, of course, is getting good titles for your rows and columns. In this example here, I'm just going to use the month as the column number 1, and I'm going to type January here for the first month of the year. Now Excel is incredibly intelligent, and it has this intelligent copy feature, which if you click and hold on the little green square in the right hand corner and pull it down, you can fill in the chart with sequential things. And so if the number is 1, 2, 3, 4, you can pull that down and it'll know enough to continue that sequence. And it knows dates. You can adjust the column width to make it more or less readable. You can maybe justify those things. You can do things to make your columns useful. Now, maybe this is your energy bills you're tabulating, so this is going to be the gigajoule used, column B, and the column C will be the price, which will be dollar per gigajoule. Always put your units in the columns to do that. So you go to your energy bills and you find out that you've got some use numbers in there. Oh my God. Put decimals in, whatever you have to do to get your energy use, and then you look on your energy bill and maybe you get the price. So it's like let's say it's $4.50 per gigajoule. So when I type that in, it's not exactly formatted as a dollar, but if you go up here, there's some formatting options. If you click on the dollar, that can be formatted as a dollar. Now column D, you want to calculate as your total price. So price, so enter. So if you type text, it'll just be text, but if you type numbers, it'll be numbers. But if you want a formula, you need to put equals in the cell. So equals tells the Excel that this is what you're going to enter next is going to be a formula, and I'm going to use cell references. So I type equals, I click my cursor on B2, and you'll see B2 is automatically folded, highlighted. Then I use a star to imply multiplication, and C2. So now this becomes an equation. I hit enter, and the result, 2 times $4.50, $9, goes into C. So let's say the price is constant for the first 4 months. So you copy that down. Then there's a price increase, right? So now we're down. Now we're at $5, and I copy that for the rest of the months. Oops. I can also go up. That doesn't show the right number of decimal places, so I'm going to highlight this and adjust the decimal places here to look like dollars. And I'm going to copy this formula down for the rest of the months. So this is where Excel helps you out in doing repetitive calculations. You type in something for column A, you enter some stuff for column B, and column C is a calculation of that. So that's, and you'll see that as you use that smart copy tool, the B3, C3, B4, C4 are all calculated in there. You can see those in the formula bar. Now, Every once in a while, you also want to access variables or things that you might want to change or constants. And so I'm going to put something like GST over here and put the number 0.05 in there as 5% GST, but I'd rather format that as percent. So I click on it and I go again to the format area and format that. I'll add some decimal places, 4.5.0. Okay. Now the next column, column E, I'm going to have the price with GST. Okay, that column's a little narrow, so I grab the corner of that and make it a little wider. So now I'm going to do a formula that'll calculate the price with GST. So I'll go equals the total price, and then I'm going to multiply it by open brackets, because you can do all these calculations in here, 1 plus 5%. So remember, I entered in 0.05 for I there for that variable. Well, it displays as 5%, but the calculated number is actually 0.05. So I have to kind of put that 1 plus 0.05 to multiply by 1.05, if that makes any sense to you. So I put that in and I get my price with GST. Now I copy that down. And you'll notice that the second column isn't quite right, because it's 1350 here, 1350 there. First column was correct. What happens is the reference goes from I2 to I3 to I4, but we don't want that. We want to go I2, so I'm going to click on I2 up in the edit formula bar here, and then I'm going to hit F4. And what this does is it puts a $sign in front of both the column and row numbers. That makes it an absolute reference, so that when we copy it down, you'll see what happens here. Whoops, whoa. We copy it down, and now you'll see what's happened is the I2 becomes a constant reference, and only the D3, D4 are changing as I copy it down. So an absolute reference can be useful when you have constants out here. Let's say, I don't know, some strange thing happened and GST went up now to 7.5%. Well, now that whole column gets recalculated. So this can be very useful to have a list of things that, if you're creating a spreadsheet, maybe calculating the energy output of one solar collector, and you have a column, how many solar collectors? 1, 2, 3, 4. So you can change that number and recalculate the column instantly. That is the beauty of Excel. And then, of course, you can tidy things up by bolding your chart, and also you can highlight it here and add lines, borders to make it all pretty. So that's pretty useful. The other beautiful thing about Excel is it's got a lot of built-in formulas. So for example, if I want to add up those prices, I go equals here to tell Excel that in this cell I'm going to put a formula. I'm going to do sum. Click on that sum twice, double click. You'll see that it does an open bracket. Now all I have to do is simply highlight, and I'll highlight all of them because I haven't entered them all yet. It'll sum cells E2 to E13. Hit enter and I have a total. I can do the same thing with things like average, right? Excel will kind of prompt you with what the cell is and describe how it works. Double click on that. And I can highlight the cell again and close the bracket, hit enter, and that gives me the average for all of that column. So there's a lot of very useful built-in things to make your life easy, really, in calculating things very fast. So it is worth learning, and hopefully that gives you some of the basics of entering formula into the cells. Of course, you can always just go to the formula bar. If you're up here, you can go to the formula bar and you can type in equals B2 plus B3, and you can enter the formula directly in the bar, and you'll see that B2, which is 2, plus 3 is 5. You can enter that formula.